but he's not happy with the speed of the offense. He wants to get up there, and he wants to go, go, go. And he mentioned in the third quarter, by the time it was C.J. Beathard, it improved, but with Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. And look, those two guys supposedly are competing for the starting job. Lawrence didn't look spectacular on Saturday night, but he definitely looked better than Minshew.
No doubt. I mean, Lawrence, you could say what you want. Okay, a few rookie mistakes, missed a throw or two that I go, damn, Trevor Lawrence, you're too good to miss that throw right there. But he did make 2 or 3 throws where I went, damn, nobody else on your roster can make that throw right there. So that's where it's special. Yeah, I thought, out of the – I mean, again, here. I mean, what? Come on. 15-yard laser, out route, bam, on the money. Great. This is a good throw with a little pressure in his face. That was holding. I was watching the game live. It was pass interference. They didn't call that. This was phenomenal. Come on. Pressure, being patient in the pocket, perfect ball, knowing where the safety was, that he could throw a soft touch ball like that. These are the throws that I never liked in college. There's too many of those missed by Trevor Lawrence where you go, that's a 5-yard out route. You're the man. You shouldn't be missing those. You should be a machine. But overall, it was a good start. And again, they're rookies. I thought between Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, and Jordan Love, who I'm counting as a rookie, the one thing that jumped out to me about all 3 of them is not feeling the pocket real well. That was something that I think they all got to work on. But nonetheless, I'm not going to say too much negative. I think, you saw it. You were impressed with the way he looks, right, as a player and his arm and everything like that?
Yeah, the only way to get to the point where you're comfortable in the pocket is to be in the pocket. There was talk several years ago about the proliferation of the virtual reality machinery that they've come up with, and you don't hear much talk about it anymore because I think the teams don't want the other teams to know how extensively they use it. But even that only takes you so far. It's all about getting to the point where the moment you have the ball in your hands, and even before that, the moment you're scanning the defense, all the different things that go into that blender that you're in the middle of, and you've been there between the rush and is there going to be a blitzing linebacker, and can I trust the running back to pick him up, and where's my first read going to be? And just like what we talked about last segment, is there some little weird thing that happens before the snap that causes me to say, forget about my first read, I got a chance my third read is going to bust wide open and give me a touchdown here. All that stuff is being processed in nanoseconds. And I think that's why rookies look the way they do. They need those reps to get to the point where they can think faster to the point where those things are just instantaneous.
No doubt. Think faster to do the things like a machine that you need to do it like a machine, but then also have that moment to go, wait, the machine, something's wrong, abort mission. Now I got to play backyard football and be a football player. This is why they drafted me. And that's where I feel like Justin Fields, and at least in my opinion, Zach Wilson thrived in that. Because, again, like we've talked about so many times, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, the day of I'm just going to sit in the pocket and look down the field and pay no attention to the pass rush around me, that is over. Unless you have just some unbelievable offensive line in front of you, you got to peek down and go, wait, my running back missed that blitzing linebacker. He's going to get here in a second. Let me get out of the pocket so I can buy some more time to throw. It's those type of things that they'll get feel for as they go. I've seen Trevor Lawrence do it. I'll know that. But that was, just as much as on him as the pass protection. Step up in the pocket. If he stepped up, he was going to have time and be able to throw it wherever he wanted. But he kind of just stood there. So he just got to get feel for where he can slide and get to as an NFL quarterback to make the plays and throws that he's capable of doing.
Urban Meyer did mention after the game that it looked like there were occasions where Trevor Lawrence held the ball a little bit too long. They needed to study the film. We hear that all the time. You can only pick up so much when you're standing on the sideline as it's all unfolding. You have to look at each play, break it down, understand what happened, and where you can teach the quarterback how to deal with that situation better the next time. But what a balancing act that is. The idea of being extremely aware of everything that's happening right in front of you, while also being aware of things that are happening 30 yards away, spread out among 4 or 5 guys, and going back and forth and back and forth. I mean, that is not something that you roll out of bed with the ability to do, and that's why we see these rookies trying to learn how to see really 2 areas at once.
Yeah, no, I know it's a whole different game than college football. They're just so much more mentally, and of course the players are so much more physically gifted. There's less room for error, and putting that together is what makes the good ones special. They have that fine line to be able to recognize everything but still play like they're young kids and, ad-lib and do those type of things. Here's a question I got for you, like all seriousness. Like, at what point in Jacksonville did we just stop, like, the fake quarterback competition? Like, to me, again, the Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo one's different. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo's been to the Super Bowl. You can't just hand the guy the job. Justin Fields, okay, yeah, Andy Dalton's been to the playoffs a bunch and done that. Right? And there's I can understand them wanting to do that. This one, though, I want to go, at some point, I think you're doing a detriment to, like, everybody. Like, let's just move on. We haven't seen anything for Gardner Minshew to think, like, well, they should give him one more shot to be the starter. Come on. I don't know, Mike. Am I crazy to say that? I just think at some point you just got to do it and just, like, the team knows Trevor Lawrence is going to start. He doesn't have to earn this one over Gardner Minshew.
I think what happened is Urban Meyer arrived with the clear presumption.
Right.
Trevor Lawrence is going to be the pick. Trevor Lawrence is going to be the guy. And at some point in March or April or May, someone is going to make a mid-round offer. They gave up a 6 to get Gardner Minshew 2 years ago. They offer a 4 or a 5 and we'll trade Gardner Minshew, and it's never happened. So
yeah, Mike,
what happens is you see Gardner Minshew in camp, and Urban Meyer said this himself. I really didn't know him. I don't want to say we got off on the wrong foot, but I didn't know what he could do, and I like what he can do. Now, I still think there's an element of let's pump this guy up, and maybe we will still get a 4th or a 5th round pick out of him if there's an injury somewhere, or just somebody's not happy with their backup. What about the Cowboys? I mean, if Cooper Rush, all due respect, I'd rather have Gardner Minshew behind Dak Prescott. The guy's got 37 touchdown passes and 11 interceptions in 2 years.
Right.
That's not bad.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, and Mike, and I think, honestly, this is why we're good together. You're right. That's probably why they're doing it a little bit, to keep that dream alive. They got a guy in C.J. Beathard who's played a little football. Jake Luton played last year, so he's got experience. So maybe that is what they're doing. Kind of keeping that talk alive a little bit. At some point, though, just like the New York Jets, like, there's no guy there that's going to be the guy. I just think you just go like, wait, no, he's the man. Like, there's only so long you should flirt, to me, with competition here with Trevor Lawrence. Because at some point, if this goes into another week and we haven't named a starter, you're going to have the team start and go, man, what's wrong with our number 1 pick? Why hasn't he beat the crap? Why hasn't he just, beat Gardner Minshew out yet? And all those type of things. So I think it can have, like, negative impact, too, here if you're not careful and don't let this go on too much longer.
Oh, it was a surprise last week when the Jaguars released their unofficial depth chart. Gardner Minshew or Trevor Lawrence. Not Trevor Lawrence or Gardner Minshew. Minshew was first, to the point where I thought maybe there's a chance we're going to see him right out of the gates in the preseason opener. But I think that it's a not so thinly veiled ruse, and they're trying to showcase him a little bit, and they hope that they can get rid of him and give Tim Tebow his number 15 back once and for all.
That's what it's all about. 15. That's what it's all about, getting him back to 15.
But I will say this, I'm rooting for Gardner Minshew because he gave us one of the all-time great quotes while we were on break. He was speaking with Chris Long, and he said, I haven't taken a bleep in weeks because number 2 is not an option for me.
I love it. He's
still
so
determined
he is great
to be the starter somewhere. Yeah.
He is. He's great, and he's that's why he's a great backup, though. He has confidence like he's a starter, that he gets in there and he just goes, wait, I'm the man. What? I'm not the starter, so what? I'll make it happen. I do respect him for that.
But, we've talked about this before, though. You got to know what kind of a backup you want.
That's right.
Do you want a backup who's there to unconditionally and fully and completely support the starter, or do you want a backup who's there with a chip on his shoulder and an attitude and an I'm better than the starter, why am I not playing? I'm not going to help him. I'm helping myself. I want to play. Some teams, you want that guy. Some teams, you don't. And I just don't think that fits with what the Jaguars are currently trying to do with Trevor Lawrence.
No, I'm with you. To me, like, Gardner Minshew's the type of backup you have if you have a stud star quarterback, because then he can handle, like, the bravado and cockiness of the backup. He's not threatened. Like you said, the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, when he's healthy, He's like, oh, man, this guy's crazy. He's cool. I like him, blah, blah, blah. He can't throw like me. He can't run like me. He's not as big as me. He's got a, quick-witted sense of humor like me, but he ain't going to beat me out in the job. That's, to me, like the perfect place he is for a backup. You're exactly right. For a young, developing guy, he could be a pain in the butt. Exactly right. And ultimately, I think your thought there is right, that he'll be trade bait here at the end of camp as long as some of these other quarterbacks play well consistently through training camp here.
Or you deliberately make him the backup to a guy that you're not 100% sure about, and
yes,
you want to have
that kind of
somebody,
place. Right.
And you know what? And you want to test that guy. The guy's kind of wobbly. Let's put a backup behind him and see how he does with a Gardner Minshew who's determined to become the starter. Does he step up or does he step off? I mean, I think that if we looked at all the depth charts and all the circumstances, we could maybe identify a team or two where maybe he would be the perfect complement, although it may not be regarded by the starter as a complement to the current situation that they have.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.